Hello and welcome everyone to today's video. This is Anas with another video about Genshin Impact. In today's video we'll talk about Eula and is she worth it in this stage of the game for Genshin Impact. Let's start with the video. So first I want to start with the drawbacks with the character because I really love Eula, so I want to end the video mentioning the positives about her. So let's start with the first reason you won't get Eula for. The Abyss. So if you are struggling with the Abyss, you want a new character that can make the Abyss easier, Eula is not that character. To be honest, she's not, especially with the physical damage and the multiplier with it. It's not great for the Abyss at all, because most of the enemies here have physical resistance and even elemental resistance, but with the elemental reaction, especially with the Dendro characters, you can make way too much damage for a little cheap, with little investment. If you just run Nahida with anything from elemental mystery and run Shinobu with a lot of elemental mystery and put Shin Shoshu there, you have one of the strongest team in a single target damage. So if you are struggling with the Abyss and you want a new characters to make it easier for you, Eula is not the character. And a lot of new characters are the same way, to be honest, because Genshin statement with the release of the character is getting worse, but at the same time the Abyss is really not worth it, because every time it's getting worse and worse and worse. With every cycle the enemies are getting worse. They put some bosses that are really annoying for no reason. They restrict you a lot, like this Abyss boss that you need a specific 3 elements and he makes shields every time, and your damage and your investment in the character does not matter. It doesn't matter, so it's really annoying. And these beats that they have no mechanics, they just hit you like 4 times or 5 times in a row, and if you consider the first hit, you aren't going to escape the other hit. So if you just get one hit, you will die probably. So for me, if you are getting 33 stars in the Abyss, I really don't think it's worth it for 50 Primos gems. I do have the characters to do so. Probably some Dendro characters that I give the Abyss, to be honest. Dendro in both ways does help a lot, but for the most part, to be honest, save your brain cells and don't try too hard with the Abyss, because it's becoming more annoying, especially with the recent cycles. The previous cycle also with the Abyss, that's with the boss, the Winat, that just go fly away from you. I don't know if we are in a time gated challenge, but the enemies, all of them, are just stalling time. So I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. And now let's talk about the second thing, which is team building. There is a lot of team variations for Eula, but to be honest, I don't think there are a lot of good direct support for Eula physical damage. There is Bennett, which is of course good for everything, but if we talk about support for Eula, there is just 2. There is Rosaria, if you have the C6, and you have Mika, which this is really annoying, to be honest. Even Mika is probably not functional if you don't have his C6. For Rosaria, it was easier to get her C6 because there wasn't that much character in the early stage of the game, so I have her C6. But for Mika and every new character now, it's really like 10 times harder to get him anyway. I have him C1. I spent some just to get him, but he wasn't worth it, to be honest. As you can see, his level is just 20, because I don't think he's worth it. Even if you have his C6, he doesn't make that huge of a change for the character that he's worth putting in the team. You can just have better value with Bennett or any other character. But overall, there is a lot of team variation for Eula you can use, so she's flexible in that. And bro, cruise. If you want, just put Eula with a Hyper Bloom team. It doesn't matter. Put her there. She's doing some work, doing some freezing, some shatter, and doing good damage. She's also super conducting a little bit with Cookie, so everyone is winning. And also you have significantly better single target damage. But as I said, there is a lot of characters that you can put with Eula and they work well with her. You can put any shielder, but probably you are going to go with Diana because she is a really good battery. But you can use Jungli and Rosaria. You can use Bennett and Diana. You have a lot of variation of characters. You can also have Mika, but he does have some energy issues. If you don't have him for about, and also Layla, she doesn't regenerate that much of energy. So those characters, even though they are cryo, you could have some energy issues. You could go full cryo team with Rosaria and Diana. That was one of the old teams for her. There is a lot of options for you to decide from. Now we moved from drawbacks. Let's talk about some positive things about her. By the way, if we ask about the damage, her damage is very reasonable. She isn't cracked like some characters, but her damage is reasonable. The only problem is the physical damage. A lot of enemies have a lot of resistance for the physical damage, and also there is no multiplayer like the melt or the vaporize for the physical damage. But overall, the damage is reasonable. Now that we talk about all the drawbacks, let's talk about things that will make you fall for the character. First, her character. I don't really like Eula's character and her story, but the problem is most of her appearances are in events. So if you didn't play some events, no problem, you won't know Eula. And her story quest was okay, it wasn't something amazing. Like all the Genshin stories, they are okay at best. Of course, the Archon story quests are a little bit different, but most of the other story quests are not good. So if you didn't play the event with Albedo, you won't really know Eula that much. But her character is the first thing. Second thing, for her design. I mean, it's hot. No one can argue with that. She's really hot. So that's just really out of the check immediately. But now let's talk about her gameplay. For me, I don't really like the Claymore users in most games, and a lot of games, not just Genshin, but I don't like the gameplay of most Claymore users. I am more of a fast sword play user. I do like the fast pace of the fight, so I didn't like the Diluc gameplay at all. I don't think anyone play with Beidou as her gameplay. You just use her ult most of the time, or her counter Sayo, Cap, Razor, Xinyan. I don't know why they even did this character in the game. It doesn't even function as this shape. Noel, not a fan of her gameplay at all. Xingyu, also Dory. This character is just a meme. Kave, I didn't get him because I was really on the pitch. He should get a 5-star. Ito also, he's fun, but he's too ultimate hit, and I don't really like that. Also, he's Geo. You need a lot of Geo characters. She's fun when she's in alt mode, but there are a lot of concern about that because her alt mode works very bad for me. Even if we forgot the damage, it just cancels when you jump. It's really annoying. And out of all of these characters, Eula is really the only character that I really like the gameplay of. Even so, she is a great sword user, she's fast, she is of course dancing. It's really refreshing even in this game, as I don't like the slowness of the great sword. That's really cool for me, that she's very fast in her movement. And the last thing, even so that Eula is an ultimate heavy character, she's not like the other ultimate characters that really rely on her ultimate to do damage, because in the open world, that's the most what you will do in this game. She's really effective against small enemies, because you won't really care about using your ultimate. Even if you have it, you will just use it, even that most enemies will die before your ultimate activated, but she can use her normal attack very quickly and easily to destroy enemies. And this is one thing that I don't like from some characters in the open world that rely on the ult. Raiden is one of them, but Raiden is also very useful with her skill, so she's also like Eula. But someone like Sino that relies significantly in his ult can be annoying to use in the open world. And Eula is not like that at all, because she can use just her skill and normal attack, and she can do a really good damage. And now let's talk about the last reason to fall for Eula. This is big numbers. Because yeah, Eula is one of the few characters that can put a lot of damage in one hit very easily in the game. Especially with the latest character, not a lot can put a lot of damage in one hit, and seeing big numbers, to be honest, can be very satisfying. As you can see there, it's very satisfying, to be honest, to pull some where it doesn't make that much difference in her damage, but still lacking compared to other characters. But seeing big numbers can be fun, and she's one of the best, to be honest, for me. The only character that I did a lot of damage with is Eula and Huta. But for Huta, I have stuff of Homa, and for Eula, she's respectable, not somewhat that big difference. I have the Unforged. Yeah, it was a big mistake for me to pull on a banner and got this garbage. But her belt is reasonable. By the way, this is 20 credit damage of the buff, so it's just 65. I got a crit rate buff because it was annoying to record this part of the video. I didn't crit a lot, so keep that in mind. And lastly, fall for the characters you want, because to be honest, this game, in game, it's not worth it. It's mostly not worth it. So if you like a character, especially the gameplay of the character, fall for them. I don't usually fall for the characters that I like story wise, so that it does need to have a good gameplay for me to satisfy me. But fall for whatever you like. If you like collecting characters that you like the gameplay of, if you want strong character, Eula is probably not for you, but she's for big numbers there. If you like the gameplay for her, just fall for her. And that's it for today's video. If you like it, push a like and subscribe for more Genshin and Honkai Star Rail videos. And see you in another video.